Hi everyone, my name is Cece Sunny. I am the writer and independent author of The Curse of Wrath. It is a dark fantasy romance, clean romance, for ages 13 and up. It is also a Beauty and the Beast retelling. I have this crazy drive, I guess you could say, to remake the trope. I love to try to make old tired things that we've heard 1,000 times or maybe have seen 1,000 times and making it new, fresh, and exciting. My goal in starting this channel is I want to help you guys to keep your stories fresh, interesting, and innovative. How do we keep making our favorite tropes or our favorite old shoes shiny and new again? And in the next video, I will share that with I'm sorry. You'll have to excuse my voice. I have been sick for a while, so if I sound a little extra froggish and sniffly, I have a cold and I just won't go away. So we're just gonna have to film with the frog voice, I guess. It sucks. Anyways, my next video is going to be how to remake the trope or make an old shoe shiny new again. In this video, I'm going to share with you my tips of how I get inspired for my writing and my art, okay? I am an art fanatic. I've always loved art as a little girl, and anywhere from drawing, reading, writing, and now, weirdly enough, it's gone to like food plating. I love watching competition shows of anything that has to do with art, whether it be wood carving, whether it be food competition shows, Face Off. I really love that one. It was really fun. The makeup on artistry, anything to do with art, I love it. And it always gets me so excited. And I'm like, oh, what would I do in that situation? And I love how creative and unique and fun you can get with storytelling. I love storytelling, and I'm a collector of good advice that I feel that really helps me to get inspired, whether it be writing tips and tricks or just what has worked for me writing wise and what hasn't. I am a student still of learning how to write. Even with writing and publishing my own book, I am still learning how to hone in my craft and where I need improvement and where I did good. I want to help you to get inspired. And so here's my list. Number 1 is to try new things. Now, you probably have heard this tip before, but the reason you hear this tip over and over again is because it's true and it does work and it does help you. You can't expect to get new inspiration by opening the same old doors. No, you gotta go and try new things. And guess what? New inspiration will come. Isn't that crazy how that works? And number 2, you're going to watch new things in your media and movies. You're gonna read new genres you normally don't read in. And you're going to try new activities, things you've never done or experienced before. Be spontaneous. Go try and have fun. It's good for you. One of my favorite outlets to go and get inspiration is I love to watch history documentaries. Yes, that's right. You heard me. History documentaries. They've gotten pretty good at telling them, but what I love most is history is your greatest teacher. You can see how past rulers or dictators have ruled their worlds or have ruined their kingdoms and how they fell from their glorious fame, or they had so much going for them. Where did they go wrong? And I also, I'll do a villain course eventually, but one of the things I really love, just not only about the history and watching how they created and worked in their world and what they did, but also study the characters in these histories and what was their desire, what was their misbelief, and what was their fear. Usually you can always identify these things in historical figures. They have books and studied so many things on it, and history is one of the best teachers I have found, and I love to study ancient histories and also You want to see conflict and hardship in your books? Just look back in history of the hardship and conflicts they had. Oh my goodness, we have it so easy in this century. We really do. We don't have nowhere near the conflicts they had back in the day. I mean, look at Victoria era medicine. The horror. Because I know sometimes stories you're like, I don't know what to make my conflict. I don't know what problems to give my story. I don't know these things. History is an awesome outlet to go search and look for problems because they had plenty of problems back in the day. So you're going to try new things in what you watch, read, and your activities. Now, I'm more kind-natured by heart. I will not give any bad reviews on this channel because I don't see it as being helpful, I guess. I don't know. It's not in my heart to be mean. Encourage you. If you are going to go try these new things, and if you try the top 10 best rated books, movies, or whatever in the genre and go experience them, go watch them or go try them out. And if you don't like them, now you know, but please be kind and don't go bash the creators or the writers of these stories and stuff. I like to fall back on, if it's not nice, don't say anything at all, unless they promise things and they did not deliver. Then they will feel the full wrath of me anonymously. Not on excuse me, not on my page, not on social media, but be kind, because it is a lot of work. It is hard work to write a book, to any kind of art, and there's no reason to be harsh or mean in your criticism of someone's hard work. If it's not your cup of tea, silence and letting it just die right there is just as effective. Trust me. It's like killer for a book. If we don't get a review that's good or something, then it just kills our book. Anyways, so once you have done a deep dive into your research of what you watch, what you read, and your activities, you are going to number 3, write it down. Yes, write it down. I have mommy fog brain. I get tired and I just can't think of things like I used to. And it's very frustrating. And I know from my own personal experience, if I do not write it down, then I'll forget it. It'll just fly away. And it's so frustrating. So whether you need to type it down on a computer real quick, I love to use notebooks. And I love them because they don't have chargers. They don't need to worry about charging them. And writing it down physically, it's just a note to me. Like I do / so-and-so climbed a mountain, and I just keep hashing it out, and I will add more words and whatever as it comes, or just do a simple step. If you don't know all the details of it, that's okay. Just write it down what you do know what's going to happen. I love notebooks because there's no pressure. It's just my notes. No one's going to read them. No one's going to know them for the most part. And it fits in my purse just fine. It can get beat up a little bit. It's okay. It's not a big deal. And it's nice because it like relieves the memory space, so I can think up new fun ideas that I don't have to remember because it's written down. So number 4 on this list is your physical health. That's right. Introverts, get off of your desk, get out of your house, go have fun. And I'm not saying go hardcore exercising. You don't have to do that, although it is good for you. What I'm saying is go for a hike, go breathe the fresh air, go play in the sand dunes. When was the last time you dug your feet and your hands and buried your whole body in sand and then go run with sand covering you? Oh my gosh, that feels weird. It's scratchy, it's not fun. Or go play in the beach and the waves. Go do something. Go have fun on just getting fresh air, because when you do these things, sometimes inspiration just comes to you when you're having fun in the middle of, you're not even thinking or stressing about writing. Sometimes you need to take a breather, take a break, go have fun outside. Be spontaneous. Go do these things. It's going to be good for your health, good for to get the blood flowing, because we tend to sit too much, us writers and creators, and you just need to go and get your blood going. And my fifth tip is to keep it real. Now that's kind of a weird tip, I know, but hear me out. So if you keep, the more realistic you keep your writing true to what the experience is, I think a lot of the majority of people who do those things, let's say you're a survival guide person, or your main character is a survival guide, and what kind of advice would they give? What are the mistakes that a survivalist would notice of a rookie versus someone who's more experienced? Because whenever someone does a craft or an art, there's experience that comes with it, and we pick up on things right away. I'm not super experienced riding horses. I'm an intermediate. I ride horses though. My husband's an expert. Oh my gosh. He's like that cowboy expert where he can chase down a horse in the cacti and the sagebrush and still rope a calf. Okay, he's an expert at riding horses. I am not. But when I read Western books and stuff, I am a little bit more critical of what is said when people are riding horses, or how the terms that are sometimes used. And these are also picked up on by other people and their hobbies. So if you're going to do a hobby or some kind of activity in your book, you kind of want to sound like you know what you're talking about, or notice the things that the people who do those hobbies notice. Like an artist, they're going to notice the light, the shape, the colors of something that's in the trees or in the movement, and that's their personality and their taste. They're going to notice those things. So you want to portray that in their personality and around them. And like when readers read that, they're like, oh, this person's an artistic person because they notice these certain things. I can tell just by reading. That's one way I like to keep it real, is keep the experiences real, but don't lose your readers in too many details. It's hard. It's a fine line between keeping it real and accurate and keeping like people who are ignorant in the know, so they don't feel like they're idiots reading it and like they have no idea what's going on. So that's kind of hard to balance. And another one I like to keep it real in is I take a lot of inspiration from nature and animals, weirdly enough. So for one of my monsters in the Curse of Wrath, it lives in the darkness. And I was like, how does an animal that lives in the darkness, that prefers the darkness because, you know, its eyes aren't used to the light, how does it get its food? How does it hunt? And one of the things, what I did is I looked into what other animals do in the wild that hunt at night. What kind of arsenal do they have to catch their prey? And I came across deep sea creatures and bioluminescence. And I was like, oh, I'm using that with this monster. It's going to look so great in my mind. And then I was like, okay, so what are the mannerisms going to be like for this creature? And personally, I love beehives. I think bees are amazing, incredible. Maybe one day I will own bees. I don't know. They terrify me. They scare me a little bit. But I love them all the same. And the monarch and how it all works. And so I used bees as an inspiration for this monster as well. And I meshed the two together. And I am pretty excited with how my monster turned out in the Curse of Wrath. And that is a simple way of how you keeping it real and using nature, using animals, and using real life experiences to breathe new life into your stories. Number 6 is let yourself get bored. That's a bonus tip. You can't. So phones and technology, it is amazing, the knowledge that you have at your fingertips. It is incredible. And it is hard also to put down sometimes. The cool thing is if you let your mind get bored, it'll start to think and start to problem solve and start to think about your story instead of being distracted. And then it's going to help you solve the problems that may be in your novel. Thank you so much for stopping by. I really hope these tips have helped you to take a new direction with your research and your writing, and hope that it helps you to get inspired. Now, on this channel here, what I'm going to do is I'm also going to list other channels that I watch on YouTube that help get me inspired. And we'll just make it like inspiration playlist, or the people that I follow on YouTube. I like timeline, and I also like the creepy supernaturals, just plain old storytelling. And it kind of helps you to just realize, like, in the beginning when you're writing your book, it's okay to make it super general and just write it down. It's all right. And you can add the details later. But I always get inspired and get the creepy vibes, and it's so much fun with these channels that I follow. And I want to help you to just try to experience new things and get inspired, and I will share what inspires me, and hopefully maybe it will inspire you. So check out the channels I follow on YouTube, and I also have a Pinterest board where I get a lot of inspiration from there. And I also go through writing tips that I really like and enjoy, and I will use, and they do help me to understand something better. Because if you're a true writer or a true artist, your craft is always evolving and learning and growing. And I am not an exception to that rule. I'm always growing and trying to do better. So I have this Pinterest board where it is creatures, characters, and writing tips. And really, I feel like a picture's worth 1,000 words or more. And it's amazing how creative some artists are out there. Like, it's like they took a look inside my brain and totally, like, manifested what I was thinking was in my story. It is a crazy and amazing, and I love it. Think of things differently. Don't do the same old monsters that have always been done. Create something new and exciting, or your sci-fi, or your characters. I also have a world building board, a nature board, and an animals board of funny, kooky animals that are real in life, and how they just get me in the creative mood of what I want to write and craft. I am on Goodreads, and I love love stories, more specifically clean romances of sci-fi, of fantasy. I do ancient history, a little bit contemporary. I'm more action thriller. I need things going on in my story. I need a lot more suspense and these other things, and wonder and the possibilities. That's more of my style. I don't really give book reviews under 3 stars. I'm more of a 4-star girl and up. And you can check me out there in the list of books that I have up, and I will be adding more on. I have kind of been a minimalist on the internet, and that's not by accident. It is on purpose. But now on purpose, I am exposing you to a little bit of my world and a little bit of what helps me and how I get inspired. And I want to share these things with you. And I hope you join me on this journey. I am on Facebook, Goodreads, Amazon, and Pinterest, and here. So follow me, subscribe, and we will see you in the next video. Bye.